To win a multiplayer game, destroy all enemy buildings. That's what the tip told me on my way into this game. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Multrap, and this is game 6 of the Best of 7 series between DIMAGA and White Raw, aka Duckload Raw. Both of them wishing each other good lucks and anime smiley faces. Very, very cool. This is going to be Xel'Naga Caverns, a very, very interesting map. This is a very cool map. Very curious to see what happens here. And White Raw is not going to go for his usual wall-in build, apparently, this time. Again, every single game he was kind of walling off here with the pylon, with the gateway, the core, the zealot, and putting lots of pressure on with his first zealot and stalker. Not going to go for it this time. I wonder if DIMAGA is, and DIMAGA's been mixing things up a little bit more. So I wonder if DIMAGA is maybe going to even catch on. DIMAGA's up 3-2 right now. All he needs to do is win one more game to win this series. I'm wondering if he's going to catch on to this this style of White Raws and kind of do something a little bit different. Maybe try and catch him off guard to counter what he's been doing. But he's not going for any kind of quick pool or anything like that, which would have been interesting to see. But that, you know, if you go for a quick pool, it can be kind of all-in-ish. Looks like he's going for a 14 pool. Getting gas as well, though, so very interesting to see that, actually. So we might see, I'm curious what we're going to see off that early gas, if we're going to see some kind of, I don't know, we'll see. Could be Baneling Bust, could be Roaches, could be a number of different things here. Putting 3 drones on gas there. He runs in there, and does White Raw actually see? Yes, he saw the gas, he saw the pool. Okay, so he kind of knows what's going on. He knows that he wanted to check that out, just see what the status of the pool was. And this is the third time I've started to mention this and been well, the first 2 times I got distracted. I was talking about scouting in Starcraft 2. You know, you can kind of, your scout gets killed early on before you really see the tech choice of the enemy. Oh, probe goes down, but not before it gets down a last-ditch suicide pylon. He is going to block his ramp partly with that core there. But only partly, so he's still going to have a little bit of an open ramp there. Somewhat interesting decision for that. Anyway, yeah, so you kind of have to scout early on just to make sure there's no rushing, especially on the ladder when you don't have someone predictable. We didn't see a drone scout from DIMAGA because he can kind of be safely, okay, evolution chamber going up actually. Zergling speed being produced, so that's what we're seeing with the early gas. The Evo chamber as well, he's going to try and get some early upgrades going on, maybe for the Zerglings. Ooh, very tricky. I like this. He's running Zerglings around. He wants to make sure he catches this scout. Scout is running up onto this high ground though. Is he going to catch it? He's just checking around, just to make sure there's no proxies or anything too. And oh, the probe's going to go right above those Zerglings who may have been sent that way exactly to stop that. Oh, here come the Zerglings. Oh, probe, run, probe, run. Probe's going to be able to run in there. Probably going to die, but it's going to spot this expansion. I don't think it's going to be able to get into the base though, now that he spotted that probe so far out. And the probe, I think, is he going to try and run in? Is he going to block the ramp? Yes, he's going to block the ramp with the queen. Well, actually, he's just running the queen down there. Anyway, point being, there's kind of a mid-game thing where the opponent gets a bunch of tech, and you kind of need to do something to get a scout in the mid-game. You can't really see their tech with your initial scout anymore in StarCraft 2. So it really makes for an interesting situation where you kind of have to worry about that scouting. Is he going to get that zealot in the ramp? Barely gets that zealot in the gap. The Zerglings could have streamed up and done a lot of damage there. Actually, there's only 4 Zerglings. Never mind. That wouldn't have been a big deal at all. Warp Gate tech is almost finished now. So we're going to see White Raw starting to come up with 3 Warp Gates. Pretty standard White Raw fare from what we've seen so far. But very, very early melee weapon upgrades and the speed upgrade and a Baneling nest going in here now. So he's going to have 2 bases. He's producing some more Zerglings as well. We could see another Baneling bust in this game. We could see DIMAGA try and finish it off, and it makes a lot of sense. He's up 3-2. He's been up a couple games. He's been playing standard, and he's lost a couple games standard in a row. When you're up 3-2, it makes sense to try and go for kind of a cheesy all-in thing. It's not that cheesy actually, or all in actually at this point, depending on how many drones he gets in this case. Anyway, it makes sense to go for something like that. And he actually cancels his Nexus. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Why did he cancel his Nexus? I didn't see if he saw something for the reason why he canceled his Nexus. No idea. Probe just chilling around here. It looks like he's going to make his Nexus again. He's got a nice little wall of units here in case, but this is going to be, oh man, this is going to be bad. Bangling Nest is in. He's got more Zerglings rallied to the front here. He's going to run in with these Zerglings, but White Raw moving out with a decent group of forces. Oh, he needs to get back there. He sees it with his probe. He needs to get back there. He may be forced to cancel this expansion again, but actually forcing him to cancel that expansion would actually be bad for DIMAGA. He wants him to keep that expansion up. He got him to waste a couple of force fields, though, and that's a good move. Trying to keep him off of that Nexus. But if that expansion stays up, then he'll be at the bottom of the ramp instead of the top of the ramp, where he could hold things off. Actually, I don't know if the Stalkers could even run back up through that gap there. Forge going up now, but I think, oh man, he's going to have some Gosu micro with his force fields. He's got a lot of sentries, so he is going to be able to put up a lot of force fields if necessary. Actually, if he can catch it at the right moment, if he sees this ahead of time enough, he's going to be able to force field and maybe hold this off. This series could come down to the force field micro right now. Here come the Banelings going straight in. He's got a force field. He force fields just in time, but only part. A few Banelings do get in. He's able to hold off the Zerglings. Beautiful play. Wow. And you can see this Stalker right here with 50 hit points, ate a few Banelings, but just barely in the nick of time, got those force fields up to block. And I thought those Banelings were all going to come in through that little side gap. He got that last force field up just barely in time, stopped those Banelings from getting in and eating half of his army. Beautiful, beautiful move with those sentries, and that is why you get sentries early on as Protoss versus Zerg. It's just for that reason, so you have them for that kind of situation. Look at this, though. Not a ton of drones, just massive amounts of Zerglings, and they are +1 upgraded with weapons, and they've got the speed upgrade. Not going for any other upgrades on those Zerglings right now, but +1 weapons is going to be finished in a little while for White Raw as well, so he's going to be able to kind of have a counter for that. But look at this. How many warp gates does he have? Still just 3 warp gates. Looks like he's making a robo as well, so that's going to be good. White Raw in the dark right now. He doesn't have any idea what's going on in DIMAGA's base. I mean, he's got an army that's kind of prepared for anything. Stalkers and sentries are good against most anything that you can throw at a Protoss player, but we haven't seen any Hydralisks out of DIMAGA, and I'm really kind of puzzled by that. He's getting a lair up now. We'll see if he gets some Hydras this time around, but Hydras are pretty good against that kind of units. I mean, the Guardian Shield, they do about even against sentries, I guess, but you could usually you can get larger numbers of Hydras, and then you do better than even, because they're obviously a little bit cheaper. But anyway, point being, Hydra's very, very good against Stalkers, and so I'm surprised he hasn't gotten Hydras. The Guardian Shield makes them a little bit less effective, but still very handy to get around. Much better than Mutalisks against this kind of an army. Especially on this map, I don't expect him to get Mutas. We'll see what kind of tech he gets in a moment here. But this map wouldn't be the best map for Mutas. It's a little bit more closed off. You can't quite jump around between bases quite as easily, and the positions aren't as close either, so he can't be mobile and just run into the main and then run back like he was on Lost Temple. So hopefully we're going to see some Hydralisks out of him this time instead. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, just going for massive, massive, ridiculous amounts of Zerglings with some Banelings alongside to soften things up as well. The Banelings are going to be able to do pretty well against any Zealots that are there, and the Zerglings are going to be able to do very well against everything else, basically. Zerglings not too good against a nice wall of Zealots, and that's what I think the Banelings may be for, but we'll have to see. Anyway, they are cute. You know, Dignity's always talking about how cute they are, but they are kind of cute. Until you give a close-up on them, and then they're kind of disgusting the way they pulse. They're like pulsating. What did I just hear over here? I heard something. Did I just hear more Banelings being morphed? I don't know what I heard. I heard some growling sounds, some Zergy sounds. Anyway, tons of Zerglings being produced here. He is really just going bullish on the Zerglings. Zergling-ish even, you might say. Just crap loads of Zerglings. Now, White Raw finally has an observer out. He's going to be able to see what's going on. He's getting Blink upgraded. Weapons... I think it's Weapons 2. Yeah, Weapons 2 is going. So he's already got Weapons 1. Still just Weapons 1 for those Zerglings. So pretty even upgrades. And there's some more Banelings coming in. Using all of his gas for Banelings here. He's just going to go for one massive, major Baneling, Zergling, crazy mother of a bust. He's got creep all the way up here. Wow, this creep is getting really, really close, actually. Look at how fast these goes. So fast on creep with the speed upgrade. Just ridiculously fast. Banelings, I haven't actually seen if they have their speed upgrade as well. It looks like they do have the speed upgrade on the Banelings as well. So they're going to be very fast on creep as well. Getting nice and close very, very quickly. And he may be even just massing up forces until he can creep all the way in there. That would be hardcore if he crept all the way in the base and then made his attack when the creep was getting in there. There are observers, though, so I don't expect that to happen. Immortal is in the mix. They're going to be good for sucking up Banelings. You know, each Baneling, instead of doing their, 24 damage, is going to do just 10 versus the Immortals' hardened shields. So they can suck up damage that way. But lots of Zealots in the mix now as well, and they are going to be very vulnerable to those Banelings. They're kind of in an interesting position in the army. They're kind of threaded through the army. I think that's going to be better with this situation. Oh, hey, there we go. Hi there, Colossus. How's it going? We do see a Spire. Okay. I mean, the Spire's good. The Corruptors are good. But Mutalisk's not so good. Ooh, he's got a gateway plugging up this, though. I was going to say, maybe he's going to go around behind here and go attack from both sides at once. Single Zergling can fit through there. There's a cannon there that may not be quite wide enough for all these Zerglings to get through, though, so he may not decide to attack from that side also. But that is something that he should at least send some Zerglings through that way, because otherwise... ooh, he's moving out, though, actually. Moving out to try and tackle these rocks. He's trying to take out some of these creep tumors. Is he going to attack while he's on the creep? Where's DIMAGA's army? He's got these Zerglings running around. A ton of Zerglings. Oh my goodness, that's a ton of Zerglings. Lots and lots of Zerglings. 3 tabs of Zerglings. Goodness gracious. Going in, he's going to kill off that cannon. Whiterust's going to fall back with his army. He's going to blink some Stalkers back to try and clog the gap and try and attack the Zerglings. He does fight that off. Cannon survives, actually, barely. And just a big ball of units right now. Let's go ahead and look at the unit tab for a moment. Look at that, 106 Zerglings on the map. Jesus Christ, that's scary. And that's all he is. Look, Zerglings and Banelings. That's all he has on the map right now. That's all he has. No tech at all. And really, I think this is going to be bad against this kind of tech with the force fields. He's going to be able to throw up. Some Corruptors are now in the mix. He's finally gotten some Corruptors as well. Those are going to be good against, obviously, the Colossi. But I think there's enough Stalkers that many Corruptors isn't going to do as much good. Oh, man, you know what he should do? He should camp what's it called right there? What are they called? Sentry, and clog that gap. Anyway, major battle coming in. Our Zerglings! No! Zerglings! No! What are you doing, Zerglings? The Banelings are going to roast all those Zealots, though, but oh, just a few land on the front of the bulk of the army. More Zerglings coming in from behind, though. They ran around the side. Corruptors kick out all of the, Colossi. Finish off that one as well. Sacrifices those Corruptors to take out those Colossi, but oh, that was huge. That was huge. His army split in half. He didn't get the Zerglings in from the other side at the same time. He didn't have any infestors to fungal them. The Stalkers. He actually blinked the Stalkers out of the way, which was actually almost a bad thing, because then, oh man, drones going out, because then the Zealots took the hits from the Banelings, and here he comes in. This is going to be the finishing blow. Tons and tons of Stalkers coming in. He doesn't even need to blink them back right now. He can just A-move, basically. More Zerglings coming in from the other side, but it's just too many units in this, and I don't think there's anything that DIMAGA can do. GG coming from DIMAGA. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know, DIMAGA seemed to go for like an all-in sort of thing, where just get massive Zerglings and Banelings, and then he just didn't with all of it. He just kind of sat around, and it just came down to, man, if only he'd engaged with his entire army there. If he just had a couple infestors or something like that, could have been a completely different battle. But the Zerglings attacking and dying, the Banelings attacking and dying, the Zerglings attacking and dying, instead of all the Zerglings and Banelings at once. And that's just, you can see the power of that flanking thing. And I think he's caught off guard. He didn't expect Whiterun to be moving out just then. So very interesting. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. That was Game 6. We're going to move on to the ace match. Game 7 will decide it all!